Welcome everybody to our Friday Facebook video chats. New face this week. We got Kevin Adams. He's our Vice President of R&D. So as we always encourage everybody, go ahead and post up your questions. We'll be happy to address them as the video goes on. If you got the real tough questions, today's the day because Kevin's here and he's our house nerd. He's our house analyst, mixer, everything. So welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
So today our product topic, or as you can see, is we're going to talk about engine oil. We're also going to go over some of our different sides of the business. You know, obviously we're known in our retail locations and we have our web store, but we also have a lot of independent dealers out there. So I'm going to give a shout out to some of our new dealers out there, recap some of the events that we have coming up. And today we also are going to have our big World Finals giveaway announcement. We've been leading up to this all season. It's quite a package for the NHRDA World Finals that are going down October 12th and 13th. And we picked a winner, and we're going to be announcing them at the end of the show today. So for anybody that got their name in, I hope you're excited, and we'll see who the winner is here at the end. And like we always say, we give away some product each Friday as well, with the engine oil being the highlight today that we're going to cover. Post your questions. We'll randomly select some people that posted some questions up and give them some oil and do an oil change with your car.
Sounds good.
All right. So engine oil. Let's I figured what we do is, I think, as I said, we'll do everything from a kindergarten education up to graduate school.
Yeah.
So for everybody who might just be having any type of engine oil question or how it's, you know, what the numbers mean, all that sort of stuff, we'll cover it. We'll discuss our actual blends ourselves and take a deeper dive into what consists in some engine oil. So you want to start off maybe talking about viscosity?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, we get questions, like Kyle said, easy questions, hard questions about oil. And honestly, one of the most common questions is on oil viscosity. So just starting with the basics, you know, the definition of viscosity is the resistance to flow. So, you know, example, molasses would be something that would flow really slow, has a high viscosity. Something like water flows really fast, has a low viscosity. The challenge with engine oils is that the engine operating temperature is around 200 to 15 degrees. You want the oil to not only be at the right thickness at that temperature, but you also want to be able to turn the car over when it's 0 degrees outside. So there's a lot of complex chemistry that goes into formulating an engine oil, making it operate under these conditions. As far as engine grades go, back in the old days when there was just mineral oils, like back in the 60s, all engine oils were just a single grade. As engine technology continued to advance, there was a need for more advanced additives like zinc and other anti-wear additive packages, and also the need for multi-viscosity. The original motivation was to have basically an oil that was thin, and basically thin oils give you better fuel economy, but yet still protected the engine. So, and then was still flowable at cold temperatures. So when we're talking about engine oil grades, if you're looking at a bottle that says a 10W40 or a 15W40, what that actually is saying is two things. One, the first number in that name, you notice, has a W after it, and that stands for the cold weather viscosity. Basically, that viscosity is measured at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So a 40 weight, a 1540 will flow, I'll say it backwards, a 5W40 will flow better at cold temperatures than a 15W40. A 5W40 actually sounds like a lot thinner oil because it's the first number and it seems like that's the most important number, but actually 40 would be viscosity at the operating temperature, which would be 212 degrees
When it's
Fahrenheit.
running.
Exactly. Yeah.
So really the 5W, and for example, the oils we got out here, we have a 5W40 and a 15W40 in our Blue Diamond here. Could I say that there is no difference once it's at operating temperature?
Totally.
They're both 40 weight at the top, but the difference is a 5W versus a 15W. A colder climate would want a 5W.
Yeah, yeah. And if you've ever seen a YouTube video where they've frozen oil, they've frozen a synthetic oil versus freezing a regular conventional oil, it's a radical difference of how well they flow at cold temperatures. And that's, once you get below, minus 20, minus 30 degrees, which is basically what a freezer is, mineral oils do not flow, where synthetics will flow down to minus 40 to minus 60.
Well, then let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
And you guys out there, if you have questions, please post them. He's a wealth of knowledge that I bounce off all the time. So theoretically, then, let's say I live in a very warm climate that's never getting down to freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
Do I even care if I pick up a bottle of 5W40 over 15W40? Would it really make a difference?
It really wouldn't make a difference. Where your engine's going to operate 95% of the time is at that 40 weight or at 212 degrees. The low end viscosity really wouldn't make a difference.
Gotcha.
No.
We hear that a lot sometimes. If there's a certain engine where somebody's running a different viscosity than what we offer, I often hear, if it's one of my vehicles is a 0W40,
yeah.
And then we don't have a 0W40, we have a 5 and a 15, but really around here, and I don't run the car in the winter, so it wouldn't matter in my vehicle that the normal oil is 040. I could even run a 1540 and be just fine running in warm climate.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's the basics of the grades and the viscosities. One thing that's good to keep in mind is all the functions of an engine oil. An engine oil obviously does lubrication, but it does a lot of other functions that a person may not realize. So, for example, of course it does lubrication. In diesel engines especially, cleaning and keeping soot at bay is one of the big functions of an engine oil. There's a lot of things you have to deal with: soot, water condensation, and the combustion gases that are always lowering the TBN and chewing up detergent packages. As far as cooling goes, it serves a cooling purpose. There's parts of the engine, like the piston rings around the head valves, where temperatures get up to 600 degrees. So cooling is a big function. Of course, protection. You want to have rust and corrosion protection. And especially nowadays, engine oils a lot of times operate as hydraulic fluids. Variable valve timing. In diesels we have them operating injectors. The lifter-controlled cylinder deactivation is a hydraulically controlled system. So all of those are functions that the engine oil has to do. And nowadays, engine oils are very sophisticated in their formulation. They do a lot of different functions. So I also wanted to mention some of the components that go into formulating an engine oil and maybe what some of their purposes are. So maybe we'll spur some questions from people out in the audience there. So some of the additives that we put into our engine oil are antioxidants to reduce oxidation. So we would start with a really good base oil, which is job one in reducing oxidation. And then there's also additives that you can put in the formula that helps the oil to keep from degrading. Detergents and dispersants, especially in diesel applications where you're putting a lot of soot and combustion gases in, what that does is it not only keeps the engine clean, but keeps those particles in suspension so they can be caught up with the oil filter. We actually feel that the specifications for oils nowadays it isn't high enough for dispersants and detergents. So we've had a lot of experience with, obviously cleaning and lubricating is our specialty. Lubricity. So in our oils, we add some more dispersants and detergents to improve the performance of the engine oil. Viscosity modifiers is something that we hadn't talked about. What viscosity modifiers are is a chemical that's put into the oil to give it a multi-viscosity. So basically a 1540 is, there's a chemical that's put in there that's like a plastic, and what it does, it stretches out or extends, causing resistance to flow at a high temperature. So what that does, it enables the formulator to take a thin oil and make it so it's flowable at a low temperature, but at a high temperature, you still have the film thickness to protect your engine. Now,
I think that's somewhat what we've done, and we'll talk about the race oil another day, but that's kind of what we've been doing with Fire Punk on trying to get the correct weight at the correct temperature at the correct time.
Yeah, viscosity is one of the most important things in protecting your engine. So sometimes in racing applications, the actual running temperature that the engine is operating at most of the time is not, it's not always 212. So sometimes you have to make some minor modifications to the viscosity target to give the optimum protection. That's what we had done with Fire Punk.
Right.
So the other components that go into formulation are pour point depressants. In mineral-based oils, this isn't so much in synthetic oils, but in mineral oils, there's pour point depressants because at cold temperatures, the paraffins in the base oils come out of solution and actually make the oil really, really thick. And then the last component is a foam inhibitor. Of course, foaming in any lubrication, displaces the oil and doesn't give the film a chance to completely protect the two surfaces. So those are the different components that go into an engine oil. And we have a different strategy in formulating, and we think that the way we've put our whole line together, with the FR3, extra detergency, extra friction reduction, we have customers who are seeing like 3 to 5% increase in fuel economy. And
that's an important point to make. We released these oils this year.
Yeah.
This is our 20th year. We've been an oil additive and fuel additive company for a long time, and the list that he just went through of what it takes to formulate a good motor oil, a lot of the motor oils out there aren't that good, and that's why our line of additives are fulfilling where they're lacking, and we're actually bringing their oils up to a higher standard. So that's our traditional business. That's why it opened up the door for, well, if we can improve upon all these oils that are out there on the shelf that people are using with our additives, well, let's just start from scratch and build an oil.
Yeah.
And if you can build the best oil possible with this in mind, that's what we've done. And that's why our line of oils, they are fully formulated with it. Every one of our oils has FR3 in it. So we covered FR3, I think, a couple weeks ago, and it's our friction reducer for our oil. So, we have a lot of big fans that love our FR3 out there. Well, if you're running our oil, you don't need to add any additives to it. It already has everything fully formulated into it, and we designed it ground up that way.
Yep, exactly.
Got a couple questions out there, Kevin.
All right.
Yeah, Dylan, it's Kevin. So, what are the benefits of running Blue Diamond, I think they mean PAO, versus the Green Fleet in my DPF semi? That's a good question. Well, we're just about to dive into that, I guess. Let me first lay out our line of oils, and then maybe Kevin can kind of break down the differences as we go. Our Green Diamond oils here, we have a 5W40 and a 15W40. Our 15W40 is a Group 2, Group 3 blend. Maybe we can touch on oil groups?
Yeah, sure thing.
So it's a Group 2, Group 3 blend, 15W40 semi-synthetic. We have a full synthetic, which is a Group 3, 5W40 in our Green Diamond. Step up from that is when you get into our Blue Diamond. This is top of the line oil. There really is, you couldn't formulate a better oil on the planet than this. It's a full PAO synthetic oil. So unlike when you see in the store your semi-synthetics, your synthetics, those, even the synthetic that they advertise there is going to be a group 3 at best.
Mm-hmm.
This is a group 4. It's a group 4 PAO, and we'll touch on what a PAO is. After that, we also have our black diamond oil. This is kind of a special formulation, a little bit strange. This is for the older diesel trucks out there before they had DPF systems, because they're not friendly to a DPF, but it's an added high zinc. So it's virtually like our racing oil. It's got a very high zinc package to it, but yet it still has a big TBN boost to it too. So for your daily driving out there. And then, of course, what's really gotten popular lately is our adrenaline racing oil. We decided we're not going to talk about adrenaline today because it's got such a lot to talk about. We'll do a whole show on our adrenaline line of oils and additives for that. But maybe you can tell. I think the question was the benefits of running the blue diamond over a green diamond.
Okay. I guess I'll start by giving a little bit of background on the groups of oils and what they mean. So basically, base oils are broken into 5 different groups. Group 1 being the least refined, and group 4 and 5 being the highest refined. Basically, when you make a base oil, you start with crude, and it goes through a refining process. That's where gasoline and diesel fuel and those different cuts come out. One of those cuts is a base oil. That base oil is a group 1 base oil, and a group 2 base oil. Basically, group 2 is a common base oil to use for conventional oils.
When you see conventional oil on the shelf, when it says conventional, generally it's a group 2.
Yeah, that's a group 2. That's a group 2, and the group above that is a group 3, and that's the first group that's considered a synthetic. Now, what's important to know is that group 1, 2, and 3 are made from crude. So they are refined, they're purified at the refinery, but even though a group 3 is truly a synthetic, because it's refined and separated by boiling points and hydrogen refining, it still has a range of high boiling point and lower boiling point molecules in it. So where that is important in formulating and making the best oil, the group 3 is truly a synthetic and is better than a group 2, but not quite as good as a group 4. Where the distinction between a group 3 and a group 4 come in is a group 4 is completely synthetic, meaning it's manufactured from manufactured in a chemical process where every molecule is exactly the same. And what that means is that your volatility of the oil is lower, the oxidation resistance is higher, and it's a stout package. So we'll get into later the reasons why we don't offer a group 2 at all. But the group 2 and 3 together, even though it's a semi-synthetic, the volatility of the product, because we use a lot of the group 3 into the base oil, it actually is one of the highest performing semi-synthetics because of Noack Volatility. Above that is the full group 3, and then the group 3 that we have is actually a blend of group 3 and group 4 together. And answering, what was the fellow's name?
Evan Tracy.
Answering Evan's question about the blue diamond, the group 4, which is the PAO synthetic, it's virtually impossible to oxidize it. We have customers that
Or shear, come out of grade.
or shear. Yeah. One thing to note about synthetics is the fact that, like we talked about viscosity modifiers, synthetics need very little, if any, viscosity modifiers. So they're multi-grade just because of the way that they act in the different temperatures. So in a truck, a lot of times diesel applications, there's a lot of shear forces. So oils have more of a tendency to shear out of grade if it's in a diesel application. So we believe that really a group 2 doesn't really have a place in diesel applications because of the large amount of viscosity modifiers that are needed to make the formula. When when deciding on what oil that you want to run in your truck, the deciding factor between a Group 3 and the Group 4 would be whether your truck is equipped with bypass filtration. So customers that we have that run the Blue Diamond for 100,000 miles, this is what they do. They will take the Blue Diamond, their truck is already equipped with a bypass filter, and they will sample every 10,000 miles. And what they're looking for in their sample is for fuel dilution. They're looking for their TBN number, which is the detergent package, to see where it's at. Sometimes they'll need to boost the TBN to get the detergents back up, because that is a consumable additive. And just make sure that the viscosity and everything's in grade. We actually had one customer that we heard back from that ran it to a couple 100,000 miles. The biggest thing is to keep the oil clean. So if you're running bypass filtration and you want to put that type of program in place to do oil analysis, we'd recommend the Blue Diamond.
So to break that down,
yeah,
our Group 4 fully PAO synthetic has the capability of holding its grade over long term. Since it's a true synthetic, the molecular compound of it will not come out of grade.
Exactly.
So the trick is, it's just like when you hear somebody say they run a conventional oil, but they got to change it every 3,000 miles or something, and then somebody says, well, I run a synthetic, I'm going to run it 7,000 miles. They're talking Group 3s. With the Group 4 PAO, you theoretically could run it hundreds of thousands of miles, because the molecular structure of it will not let it fall apart, if you will. So the trick is, you still got to keep it clean over that long interval. And the bypass filtration, we have our own France filter. Maybe we'll do an episode on France filter sometime. What a bypass filter is it's as simple as having a second oil filter on your vehicle. It bleeds off about 10% of the oil flow of the vehicle. It runs it down through a really tight filter, down to 1 or 2 microns, whereas your normal filter is 15 or so?
Yeah, 15 to 30.
15 to 30 microns. And the reason why your normal filter can only strain down that low is because you have to have oil flow to keep the motor running. Otherwise, every oil filter would strain it down and keep all your oil really clean, but you need to keep the oil flow to the motor to keep the motor running. So a bypass filter is just a secondary filter on the vehicle that bleeds off a little bit of the oil at a time and really cleans it up nice and good. So combining a bypass filter with the Group 4 PAO, your interval can really be limitless. The only thing, and then we recommend doing an oil analysis every 10,000 miles or so, just to make sure the oil is still in good. We're not going to see anything crazy like it coming out of grade or anything if it's a Group 4. You did mention the TBN. That's one thing you can't help, but a TBN number is going to fall, and we do have a TBN booster product just for that use. If they needed to bring the TBN level up as a result. But to answer your question, Evan, really the difference is, are you looking for a long interval to be able to have your truck set up so that you can run a bypass filter, run a great oil through it for long interval changes? And one more thing I'll add to it too is, when you're running a bypass filter, not only is it keeping your oil clean, but I often think about it from the standpoint that the day you change your oil, you got this great clean oil in your car. And whether you go 5,000 miles, 10,000 miles, whatever it is between your oil changes, every single day that oil gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. That week before you change your oil at that 9,990 mile mark, you got some dirty oil that's been running through your motor. The great thing about a bypass filter and running a high grade oil like this is every single day of the life of that engine, it is seeing crystal clean, nice oil. It doesn't detriment in between oil changes. It just stays clean the whole time.
Yeah, we were doing the first R&D to evaluate different filter medias for that. We're really surprised that a fella here had a 6-liter, and it was at the end of the oil change. And once we installed the France filter, within 300 miles, it was back to the cleanliness of brand new oil.
I got a question from Corey Beecraft. Where can I buy the 5W40, and how does it compare against AMSOIL? Well, first of all, our oils are not sold in retail. So all of our big, truck stops and Tractor Supply and O'Reilly's and AutoZone, where you can find all of our additives, we're not sold in retail, but it is available online, www.hotshotsecret.com, and we have a lot of independent dealers out there. If you go on our website, you can punch in your zip code, find a local dealer. Not all dealers carry it. They all can. They're all welcome to. And more are picking up the line now that a lot of people are getting popular with it.
Yeah.
And how does it compare against AMSOIL, he asks?
Well, that's a good question. Basically the bottom line on comparison is how much of the good base oil and how much of the additive is in the product. AMSOIL does have a lot of different oils. I'm assuming he's talking about the diesel engine oils. We feel that one of the best indicators of oil life or quality of oil is the Noack Volatility, and that's related to the base oil that we use. And basically what that is a test that's done at 250 degrees, and they put oil in a test tube and they measure how much has evaporated over the period of the test. The limit is 15%, and a good oil is around 10% or a little bit below. We just had our Noack test done again, and I have it here. We range from a 4.5 on volatility up to a 7.5, and we checked a couple of AMSOILs actually on the same chart, and their low was 4.8 and their high was 9.8 on the couple that we compared to. So it's very close, but in the way we would rate it, in our opinion, it's a little bit better.
Absolutely. Another question: where can I buy FR3 and the transmission additive? I assume you're asking about our TSE. FR3 is available. Again, everything's available online, hotshotsecret.com, and also through our private dealer network. So check for a local dealer near you and support our local dealers. From a retail standpoint, FR3 is picked up pretty widely now. It's getting in more and more stores, I believe.
Yeah,
O'Reilly's. Tractor Supply.
I know there's more.
Now I know Tractor Supply, as far as the TSE is not as available as widely, the transmission, but I believe Tractor Supply carries TSE now, don't they? I could be wrong. Chime in later. Check out. We'll respond to your question online and give you exactly where you can find it from a retail standpoint. But you can always find all of our stuff online, hotshotsecret.com, and check your local independent dealers as well. Got a couple more questions coming in. Can you compare it to Shell T6 or any other major brand of 5W40? We just talked about AMSOIL. Shell T6 is it's pretty common in the diesel world, and we see that a lot. We've been seeing a lot of people that typically will run Rotella and then run our additives in it, and now a lot of those people are just coming over to our oil because now you don't have to buy the oil and the additive. You buy our oils; it's everything in one package. Yeah.
As far as indexing our oils to the T6, we haven't done testing against the T6. We have tested our FR3 in the T6, and it reduces the wear low 40% in that recipe. As far as wear resistance, it should be better, but I don't have data to compare that to.
Randall Sanchez says, I have an Ecodiesel. Is this oil better than Rotella T6? If I use your product, does it void any warranty? Great question.
Yeah, across the board, there is not a problem with any other brand being used, whether it's our brand or somebody else's brand, voiding a warranty in a vehicle. Basically, if the oil meets the spec that the manufacturer says you should use. So, for example, all of our oils except for the outlaw oil meet the CK4 specification. In addition to that, there's an additional spec that Ford has out there. It's the WSS spec. As long as the oil meets the specs the manufacturer calls out, there would be no problem.
And I think we've got kind of like a paper coming out here soon regarding warranties, because we get that question a lot, and we've had our legal team dig very deep and came up with a lot of good stuff to show everybody direct from the manufacturers that there's no voiding of any warranty using any of these products. That's coming from the horse's mouth, the manufacturers themselves. Oh, Trey Sykes chimed in. Trey Sykes is one of our sponsored drivers with the BMW 335D. He says, I love the Black Diamond 15W40 oil. I got 10,000 miles of daily driving and drag racing most weekends out of it, 145,000 miles and counting. Thanks, Trey. You know, that's a great example. Trey's one of the guys that a lot of our sponsored race guys and people out there are running our racing oil, and that's why we put out this, what we call our Black Diamond, because the Black Diamond is essentially very based on what the race oil is. It's high zinc, high performance oil. But like I always tell some of the drivers that we talk to, if you are also a street strip type of guy, if you're driving your truck on the street as well, then you probably want to have a little bit of extra TBN boost. So our Black Diamond has a higher level of TBN in it to support that daily driving on the street. Trey in particular, that BMW says daily driver. So it's funny to see a fully wrapped car as a daily driver, but he drives that to work every single day and also drives it down the track every single weekend. So Black Diamond is his oil choice. Now, like the Fire Punk truck that is a drag strip only truck that passes a quarter mile at a time, he's strictly on the adrenaline racing oil because there's no really need for a TBN boost in that type of application.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks for chiming in, Trey. Can I use your Blue Diamond in a gas car? Interesting question.
That was a good question. So with the new CK4 additive package, we had to make a decision. Do we keep it just a basic CK4, or do we add the extra package of phosphorus to meet also the Ford specification? Basically, you know, this is a diesel engine oil, and it does not meet car specifications. And the reason why is because it has too much additive in. Can
you explain why? I remember when I learned that, I was like blown away at the difference between why that is.
Yeah, well, if you read some of the message boards online, you know, people talk about how oils nowadays are starting to have less and less zinc. Well, zinc is an excellent extreme pressure additive, good antioxidant, and formulators used zinc for a lot of years. Once catalytic converters came out, they discovered that this good additive also caused ash that can plug up catalytic converters. So now there's limits, and the EPA, actually the newer specifications that are coming out, not only for diesels but for automobiles, they keep lowering and lowering the spec, forcing additive manufacturers to come up with new chemistry to address anti-wear without zinc. But still, zinc is one of the best additives out there. You know, by far, there's no other additive people would recommend for, you know, flat tappet protection. It's just good for extreme pressure, and that's the reason why we are. I was saying probably in the next six months we'll have a PAO version of the automotive engine oil.
Oh, breaking news!
It's coming down, but it's not here yet. Or in R&D.
And which oil, blue or black, would you recommend for the Ecodiesel? This is Randall Sanchez that was asking. I would say blue unless you're in a racing application. If you're in a high horsepower racing application, black is something you want to look in due to the high zinc content.
Yeah, I assume he still has the emissions equipment on it too.
Correct. So go ahead, if you have any more questions, post them up. We'll address them as we kind of see them. I want to kind of move on. As we talked about, I think a lot of people, surprising me, still don't know that we have a large independent dealer network. So while all our products we're in now over 20,000 stores nationwide, retail, from Tractor Supply to we're in Walmart now, we're in O'Reilly's, AutoZone, a lot of the farm stores. You can find all our products, hotshotsecret.com, our website as well. But we have a lot of independent dealers out there that sell our product, and we're always welcoming new dealers on. So if you've got a shop, if you've got if you're a guy that turns wrenches and you're looking to bring on our product line, we have great dealer packages. We welcome you aboard. You can give us a call. You can go to our website and log in a form to become a dealer, and we'll have someone call you and get set up. So we just wanted to give a shout out real quick to just some of our most recent dealers that came on in the last couple weeks here. AA Muffler and Brake in Irving, Texas. We have Diesel Power Products in Spokane Valley, Washington. I believe dieselpowerproducts.com, they sell on their website as well. After Hours Performance right here in Ohio. They actually, they were in today picking up some oil. Red Island Diesel in Anacoco, Louisiana. Black Smoke LLC in Bozeman, Montana. Kraus Automotive in Tennessee. Foreman Tire in New Carlisle, Ohio. M&M Farms in Prairieville, Louisiana. Granby Truck Products in Granby, Colorado. Phoenix Off-Road Park in Steubenville, Ohio. Affordable Diesel in Janesville, Wisconsin. Power Stroke Solutions in Virginia. Armor Inc. in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. It's Donovan Harris, one of our sponsored drivers. His shop picked it up. So Black Diamond Diesel in Las Cruces, New Mexico. G&J Diesel in Billings, Montana, who were just the hosts of NHRDA about a month ago. Flight Systems Automotive Group in Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. And Jamaica Turbo Repair in Jamaica. We're international. We have dealers all over the world, actually. So if you're interested in being a dealer, give us a call, stop by the website, fill out a Become a Dealer form. We'll have someone contact you and let you know how to become a dealer with us. I want to also remind everybody, this is the last day for our Labor Day web special. So I guess going to midnight tonight, it's our tune-up trio, plus we're throwing in 2 free 4-ounce bottles of EDT. So that's a 2-quart of Stiction Eliminator, a quart of FR3, a quart of Diesel Extreme, and 2 4-ounce bottles of EDT. $111 value. Right now online, you can get it $85 with free shipping. So it was the last day of that, so take advantage of that. And then let's talk about what some events we got going on. Sure. So, well, you know what? We got to recap Shide because so Shide Diesel Extravaganza, one of the best events all year, went down not last weekend, the weekend before. Yeah. And we support a lot of drivers out there. And one cool thing is a lot of people know we sponsor Levon Miller and the Fire Punk diesel truck, as well as the Save the Racks truck with Emily and Edgar. But we've now brought in the whole Fire Punk family. So we're sponsoring all of Fire Punk now. So all these Fire Punk drivers are now, and they're all running either the Adrenaline Racing Oil or some of the guys that run on the street as well are on the Black Diamond, depending on the application. But we looked at the results of Shy Diesel a couple weekends ago, and I'm not scared to pat ourselves on the back on what we saw in the winner's circle. So they had 7 classes at Shide, and 6 of the 7 classes were running Hot Shot Secret racing oil. So we're really proud of that. We're really excited about that. The dragster class with Wade Moody, he's been kicking butt all year. I think he got down to 4.11, a record, and he's been running the Adrenaline. He runs, I think, a 40 with some 60 in it or something. Yeah, a blend. Special fun. And then the Pro Mod, Larson Miller won in the Save the Racks truck. He's running 50, 60 weight Adrenaline. Now our class, the Hot Shot Secret sponsored class, the Pro Street class, Dustin Jackson won. We're big fans of Dustin Jackson, so congratulations, Dustin. And I'm sure Levon will give him his run for money again. They're always fun to watch those two guys go at it. The Fire Punk Diesel 590 class, Rick Fox won, running Hot Shots oil. The Flow Pro Exhaust 670 class, Art Maupin won, running Hot Shots oil. The ATS Diesel 770 class, Landon Miller won that, running Hot Shots oil. And the Damo Performance Exhaust ET class, Landon Miller actually took that one as well, running Hot Shots oil. So 6 of your 7 winners at Scheid we're all running Hot Shot Secret oil. So we thank you guys for trusting in us and kind of being new to the oil market, not really oil additives or anything, but we've seen such great gains out of our oils and our performance side. So we are really happy to see a lot of the guys that we sponsor are getting in the winner's circle there. So we really appreciate it. We're really proud of you guys. So keep it up. This week, Chris right now is out in Vegas. He's at the Mining and Exploration International Conference, which is a pretty crazy conference with machines as big as this building out there. So I think he's having a good time. What's coming up next?
We have the ODSS in Holt, Florida.
Yeah, next weekend. That's the Hardway Sunshine Showdown down at Emerald Coast Dragway. So we'll see if the guys can repeat a winning streak like that.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. That's the first one.
Yep, first one down there. Ryan Milliken's place at Emerald Coast. So that'll be next weekend, along with, on the gas side of things, the Shakedown of Summit, a big drag racing event. It's actually close to us. It's here in Ohio, and we're the official streaming sponsor of that on Speed Video. So if you guys want to watch that next weekend, log into speedvideo.com. We're a sponsor of the airing of it. We might just have our Pro Mod 63 split window Corvette out there. It's you guys may have seen it. It's a fully wrapped Hot Shots Pro Mod, and hasn't made the track just yet. We've had some stumbles getting it ready for race ready, but we think it's going to make its debut next weekend.
He's still wrenching hard, but
he's wrenching hard. So we hope we can get it out there on the track next weekend. And also North Ohio Truck Meets. It's a good local group we like to support. They do really good things. They have a few big events a year, and they're having a meetup at Summit Racing Equipment in Talmadge next weekend. And of course, our products are also available on summitracing.com. So it's a good partner of ours. So we're going to go up there and support those guys. Stop by Summit Racing Equipment. We'll probably be giving away some free product and some good stuff. After that, looking towards the end of the month, we got the Delaware County Fair, another local thing, but everybody probably knows the Little Brown Jug Race. That's big. We like to support that. And one initiative we started this year also was support your local track. Yeah. We encourage everybody nationwide to go out and support your local track, because tracks are dying left and right. And we have a track close to us here in Ohio, Pacemakers Dragway, and we sponsor them. And we're coming up on the final 3 Cash Days events of the year. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a big Cash Days out on Saturday. Hope some people come out for that. And, of course, we're closing the month with UCC qualifier over at Wagler in Indiana. So let me check, see if we got any more questions before we call it a day. Hot Shots oil is amazing. Thanks, Mel. Appreciate it. How cold can your black get before it starts to thicken up?
Good point, or good question. The black and the blue diamond are all PAO synthetics. I actually just did a cold flow test on that, and looks like it's good to minus 45. That's the pour point.
Pour point's at minus 45 degrees. Yeah. Well, it's pretty cold.
Let's see.
So, Corey, depending on what climate you're in, I think you're good. Charlotte, I love your product. Used in all my vehicles, gas and diesel. Thanks, Charlotte. Are you going to be at Beans Diesel Dirt Drags on October 13th? I don't think we are, because October 13th is the NHRDA Hot Shot Secret Diesel Drag Racing Series World Finals in Ennis, Texas. We'll look into it, though. Maybe it's something we can support next year. FR3 is amazing. A bracket racer's dream come true. That's Mel again. Thanks, Mel. How does this stand up to Royal Purple? Dan Allen asks.
Yeah, these questions asking about how it indexes with other oils, I should have expanded a little bit. We're in the process of doing an extensive study where we do compare all the oils to the most popular ones in industry. We're gonna pick the 5 most popular ones and publish that data. So we'll update you guys once we have that data available.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think about to wrap up here. Oh, sorry, Corey, didn't see the question. Something about a block here. What was it? At what point does your 15W40 oil need a block heater as far as cold temperature?
The 1540. He's talking about the semi-synthetic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it really wouldn't matter with at the weight. If you're in a colder climate, would you need a block heater?
Mm.
What's our pour point on the 15?
Yeah, actually it's about minus 44 too. The semi-synthetics a minus 38. The synthetics minus 44. Basically, as long as you're not getting close to that point, you should be fine.
He says at say -8 degrees, he'd be okay without a block heater.
I would answer it this way: the oil will flow, down to minus 38, but as you're approaching that point, it's going to get thicker and thicker. And the thicker the oil is, as it pumps to the top of the engine, gravity feeds down through. So if it was me, I would still put a block heater on at -8, just as a precaution.
If I was below 0, I'm probably putting a block heater on.
That's
I
what I
think
was
it's kind of
thinking, too.
my over-under there.
Yeah.
To be safe. Now, would it start? You can
Yeah.
still get started. But as we know, starting a diesel in a really cold climate like that can be tough. So,
Yeah.
Charlotte and Colby Spears say, I move campers cross country. What would be good to use in a 17 Ram 2500 stock?
So I would say if you don't have a bypass filter, I would go with the synthetic. For the reason that the synthetic's going to give you a little bit better fuel economy,
Which would be the Green Diamond 540.
Yeah, Green Diamond 540. If you're doing a lot of traveling, put a lot of road miles in, you may want to consider putting a bypass filter on and going
Step up to a Blue Diamond.
Yeah.
But really not necessary if you're not really running a bypass filter. You're not going to
Exactly.
get the full benefit out of it. So
Yeah.
save your money, go with the full synthetic Green Diamond. Okay, I think it's about time to announce our winner.
Oh, that's exciting.
This is exciting. This is one heck of a package. We teamed up with NHRDA on this. We Randy and Stacy and JJ and all those guys over there. We just love our partnership with them. We've been really happy. It's our second year in now, and we're signed through next year as well. So we're going to be title sponsoring the NHRDA Diesel Drag Racing Series. It's an absolute blast. If you've never been to one, I encourage you to come out. It goes all around the country, really. They've even made it out east a little bit. We even hit Kentucky this year. So the World Finals go down October 12th and 13th, and it's about as big as it gets. It's at the Texas Motorplex. The winner of this package gets quite a bit. It's going to be 2 round-trip flights, 2-night hotel stay, a rental car, 2 VIP tickets to the World Finals down at Ennis, Texas, a luxury box suite at the Texas Motorplex Tower, so you're not even sitting out there in the stands in the sun. You get your own luxury box in the tower, food and beverages, 2 tickets to the year-end banquet, which takes place Saturday night after the finals. So you get to come in with all the drivers and watch all the awards and stuff, which is cool. Some swag from us and NHRDA, which is always cool. You'll get 2 2019 NHRDA memberships as well, and you get interviewed on TV with Diesel TV and us or NHRDA as well. So it's quite a big package. We've been running this promo all year to bring attention to the series, and we hope we did. So we did a random number generator, and the number we pulled was assigned to name. You want to announce it? Drum roll.
It is Faye Schwanger.
Faye Schwanger from Ephrata, Pennsylvania. So congratulations, Faye. We will be in touch. If you want to shoot us a message, we'll tell you how we can organize everything for your trip. You get to, I think everyone's probably going to be, who knows Faye, are probably going to be calling her to be the number 2 right now, because it is a trip for 2.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Faye. We'll be in touch. We'll reach out to you. Thanks for everybody else who entered the sweepstakes. We had a great time promoting it this year, and look forward to seeing Faye down in Texas.
Yeah.
And we'll have a blast down there. Oh, yeah.
So you're going to give away some oil?
Yeah, let's do that too. So one other quick thing I want to say, from the merchandise department, we got some new hats, and thanks to our guys over at UCC. They do some really nice stuff. So I know everybody likes the Richardson hats that are embroidered, and we also have our new Flex Fit hats that everybody likes, the Flex Fits now. So these are going to go online here. It's a limited time run we're doing with them. We're seeing how they'll do. If you guys really want some of the new style hats, I think, are they online yet right now? Not yet? Soon? Any day now they'll be online. We're going to take them down to Florida next week too, so grab those. And let's give somebody an oil change. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Who was that asked like 100 questions? Corey. Yep. He asked like 10 questions. What do you say?
Definitely.
All right, Corey, give us shoot us a message. Let us know what viscosity, weight. After all your knowledge you learned about oil today, let us know what kind of oil you want, and we'll send you out a few gallons of oil for your truck, and you can see how this Hot Shots oil runs in your truck. And I think you were one that was already using our additives, so you can keep those on the shelf for now. Like we said, these are fully formulated, so get a nice free oil change on us, and hope you like it. So anything else you want to pitch?
I think we're good.
Okay, happy Friday, everybody. Have a good
Friday.
weekend. Tune in next week. I think a lot of us are gone. Chris should be back.
Yeah.
So we'll put Chris back on here. The cat's away, so the mice are playing this time. But other than that, have a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.
See you guys.